there is a huge upside for A+ content, but I don't think you should start there. I think that's the heaviest lift. I think it's the hardest for people to do well. I think it's time consuming. So the quick wins are gonna be title testing and bullet testing. We see up to 589% increase in sales with these kinds of tests. So we try to focus on these right out the gate. These are quick wins, battle of the titles, just get it started. So these are the things that we want to research for. There's 6 things that matter. So I wanna understand what are the main keywords that are driving sales. We all know that. But here's number 2, I think is something that we wanna focus on with those reviews. We want to get those pain points and emotive language. The emotive language is the magic. The emotive language is what takes the AI writing sales copy or marketing copy in like a generic way to writing it like your customer would write it, saying it like your customer would say it. And when you say it how your customer would say it, the people who want to be your customers are going to buy into it easier. So if we can take that emotive language and use it to write our copy or get ideas about our copy, we're already winning. We want to understand the keyword gaps. So in your search query report, your brand analytics, Rufus queries, what are the gaps? What are we missing? What are the things that our competitors are doing that we're not doing? For us, we're trying to ask the brands, have you done any other studies on your own? Have you done any surveys with your clients? Anything that's data backed that we can pull in. Building a psychographic profile from those reviews as well. And then using, this is a fun one. Number 6 is probably the most painful thing. If you haven't done this, highly recommend everybody in the room do this. Run a video poll and ask just 5 people to tell you what's missing from your listing, and you'll sit there squirming the entire time because they will just rip your listing apart, and it's a good pain, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna skip through the activity for a minute because I want to just get you guys to through this actual presentation. We're just gonna fire through it, and then we'll get to the activities at the end so that I don't have to keep getting your attention. So step number 2 is gonna be, did we get through step 1? Yeah, okay, so let me not skip through that. Here, so this is what your image strategy is gonna look like. I built a custom GPT. You're gonna pop that data in there, it's gonna build it for you. So we still do this manually. Our team does this manually for every single client. We technically don't have to, but we do because we want to be involved in every single part of that data analysis. We just make it faster now with this GPT. Concepting. So 2 to 5 main images minimum is what you should be creating. Every time you have a product image, you should be showing and telling. Think through how you're going to show and tell in a different way. We want multiple design styles. We want to think through multiple color options. If you have a color palette, how else can we play with that color palette? Models and lifestyle imagery options. I'm gonna show you examples of all of this, so it's gonna become clear. And it's funny because even one of these can make such a huge difference. Let's see. And then lastly, have ChatGPT review your competitor images and give you new concept ideas, which I'm pretty sure Data Dive will get into something like that in the future. So we'll get into that video in a second. Ooh, I'm not gonna ruin the surprise. Okay, so step 3 is gonna be that testing and iterating that we talked about. So this is how I do our testing today. You don't need to overthink it. I like specific tools for specific polls. So I'm not just choosing one poll. I love Pickfu, I've used them from day one. I love Product Pinion, their video poll crushes. And I love Intellivy because they're just like, they have that product image stack poll that just like is untouchable right now. So for me, we've just always done main images on Pickfu. It's just our tried and true process, so we've stuck with it. You can absolutely do it on Product Pinion if you want to. Product image stack testing, I hands down across the board love Intellivy. Product Pinion just launched theirs, so also one to check out. Intellivy's will give you upvotes, downvotes, so you can identify like which order you should be uploading to Amazon. So if you weren't sure which one of your product images is most favored by shoppers, that will tell you how to upload. And even that could help you just have better confidence in what you're uploading where when you're doing those uploads. And then A+ content split testing. Intellivy just launched an official, I think last week, an A+ content split test tool. So that's pretty awesome. I ran a couple, we'll walk through those. Pickfu, you can still do this on Pickfu. It's just a side-by-side split test, but it's not specifically for A+. Intellivy, what it's doing is it's pulling the desktop A+ content and the mobile A+ content. It's forcing the shopper to view for 15 seconds. So they're scrolling up and down, and then they're giving their feedback. So it's kind of like a forced environment. They're also thinking through much more advanced things that are gonna roll out, but this is the basics of what's there today. Okay, so skip through that activity. Step 4 is gonna be fine tuning those designs, taking all of that data from your poll and building it back into your designs. This is interesting, right? Because now there's AI analysis in all of these tools, but the AI analysis sometimes doesn't pick up the patterns for you and tell you 10% of these shoppers are asking if it's a vegan product. Those are the kinds of things you need to read through all of that feedback on your poll, because if you can read that and realize, oh my gosh, there's 5 people, there's 10 people asking the same question. We didn't even think that they want to know that when they're shopping for this product. Why don't we add a badge that just calls it out right away? Little wins. And then 5, you're gonna validate all of this with your managed experiment. We typically like to do manager experiments just so we can get the actual validation from Amazon. But we do run a bunch of manual tests as well, because a lot of clients just don't have time to be waiting 4 to 12 weeks for this. So one of the critical feedbacks that I've heard is why would you even waste your time using something like Pickfu or Product Pinion or Intellivy when it's not actual Amazon data? We're not sitting on Amazon.com doing this. When we did our analysis across, I think we pulled more than 50 clients to see, of the ones that showed winning results on Pickfu, how many actually showed a sales lift. It was 75% of them showed a sales lift. So, I mean, the data's there. I would just always be testing, and that's just a general rule of thumb. Okay, so here is the basic format. This is where we're getting anywhere from 20% lifts up to 2,500% lifts is just this really basic process. You can test your main image, your image stack, your title, your bullets, your brand story, your A+ with manager experiments. Which one can generate the most sales? I'm just gonna tell you. Let's see. Oh, I don't know why I have that twice. All right, so we've done over 350 split tests. 82% of our clients are seeing successful results with these 3, but A+ content is now showing the best results for us. We've had a client reach up to 1,000% increase by refreshing from, this was actually from really bad basic A+ content to really good basic A+ content. And we only do premium for 95% of brands right now, but this was a vendor central brand that wasn't paying for and didn't want to pay for premium A+ content. And they saw a 1,000% increase in sales. And they're a top player in their niche. So this is just, that was actually really surprising to me to see that. So there is a huge upside for A+ content, but I don't think you should start there. I think that's the heaviest lift. I think it's the hardest for people to do well. I think it's time consuming. So the quick wins are gonna be title testing and bullet testing. We see up to 589% increase in sales with these kinds of tests. So we try to focus on these right out the gate. These are quick wins, battle of the titles, just get it started. Main images, the focus here should be CTR, but we still see an increase because we're bringing lots of sessions into the listings, stealing those from your competitors. 160% increase in sales. I'm gonna break this one down for you because this is also the second place you should start. It's the lowest hanging fruit. It's gonna bring people in. Obviously, you have to fix the images, the product image stack, and the A+ content in your listing to actually convert. But if we look at this in a funnel, we need to bring them in with the titles. They need to be found. They need to find you with the titles, right? And your SEO copy. Then they need to click on your main image instead of your competitors. So we need to bring them in through that main image, and then we convert them through the other imagery that's inside the listing. So title test, then main image, then the rest of your imagery. Okay, so here's some quick wins. For main images, these are the kinds of things that we want to think through. And again, right now we do this manually. Today, I'm going to give you a tool that's going to do this for you in one click. It's going to give you a bunch of different images, but we want to think through, are we doing a 3D render versus a photo? Are we doing different angles, different shadows? Are we adding what I call eye candy, like flares of things going on, ingredients, powders, like what is your product? How do we break it down and show people in a more visual, exciting way? How do we get people to look at your product as opposed to the competition in those search results? We got to get their attention with eye candy. Test with packaging, without packaging, show a close-up, don't show a close-up. Post-edit enhancements. So when you ran your poll, are people asking if your product is vegan? Slap a vegan badge on there that's viewable from mobile. Any kind of post-edits that you can think of that might help people. Even a post-edit can even be just reducing what's showing up on your packaging so that they focus on the thing that matters, right? So a lot of times you see packaging on Amazon and it's just loaded with all of this text when really the shopper is looking for a very specific 1, 2, 3 things. So if we can highlight those in a bigger way, remove space on the packaging, just bring those up. Mary Roos is a great example of this. They're crushing it with things like that. This is all of those things pulled together. So again, the tool that I'm going to show you is going to do this for you. But angles with NeuroGum. We have 3D render moving around the screen with NeuroGum. Swig, there's a badge. There's eye candy with the fruits coming out at the side, splashes of water. There's the little packet that's leaning on the side. We tested 3 packets. We tested 1 packet. We tested different callouts besides the sugar-free. Those little badges that are sitting at the bottom of the Swig bag, I believe those don't even exist on the real packaging. So when we talk about like, the number one question I get at this stage is like, can you even do this on Amazon? Is it compliant? And it really goes back to your intent. If you're trying to confuse the shopper, then of course Amazon's not gonna like it. But if you're aiding them in their buying experience, then for me, it's a green light. So yes, we get rejections all the time because we're trying to push this as much as we can. Amazon slaps us on the wrist and they say, your image is suppressed. And we say, okay, and we move something over and we upload it again. And we upload it again and we upload it again until they approve it. And that's what we do with main images day in and day out.